I hadn't set foot in my childhood home for over 20 years. The old Victorian house on Elm Street had been the site of some of my happiest memories, but also some of the most terrifying. My parents had passed away when I was a teenager, and the house had been sold to a new family. But after the current owners had fallen on hard times, the house was left abandoned and had fallen into disrepair. I had recently inherited a significant amount of money and decided to buy back my childhood home, with the intention of renovating it and making it my own. As I stepped inside, a wave of nostalgia washed over me. The creaky floorboards, the musty smell, and the faded wallpaper all brought back memories of my childhood. But as I began to explore the house, I started to feel a creeping sense of unease. Every room seemed smaller than I remembered, and the shadows seemed to twist and writhe on the walls. I tried to shake off the feeling, telling myself it was just my imagination playing tricks on me. But as night began to fall, I started to hear strange noises. At first, they were just faint creaks and groans, but soon the sounds grew louder and more intense. It sounded like someone was walking around the house, slamming doors and stomping on the floorboards. I tried to convince myself it was just the wind or the old house settling, but deep down, I knew it was something more. I began to feel like I was being watched, and the sensation only grew stronger as the night wore on. I tried to distract myself by watching TV, but the sounds only seemed to get louder and more intense. It was then that I saw her. A little girl, no more than 10 years old, with a pale face and sunken eyes. She was standing in the doorway, staring at me with an unblinking gaze. I tried to speak, but my voice caught in my throat. The girl didn't seem to notice me, though. She just kept staring, her eyes fixed on something behind me. I turned to see what she was looking at, but there was nothing there. When I turned back, the girl was gone. I was shaken, but I tried to tell myself it was just my imagination playing tricks on me. But as the night wore on, I started to feel a presence in the house. It was like someone was lurking just out of sight, watching me and waiting for me to let my guard down. I knew then that I wasn't alone in the house. And then, I found the diary. It was hidden away in a secret compartment in my old bedroom, and it belonged to a girl named Emily. As I flipped through the pages, I discovered that Emily had lived in the house many years ago, and she had been subjected to unspeakable horrors by her parents. She had been locked in the attic, beaten and starved, and forced to endure unimaginable cruelty. The diary ended abruptly, with Emily writing about how she had finally escaped from the house, but not before her parents had performed some kind of twisted ritual to trap her spirit inside the house. I realized then that the little girl I had seen was Emily, and she was still trapped in the house. I felt a chill run down my spine as I read the final entry. It was then that I heard the sound of footsteps, heavy and deliberate, coming from the attic. I knew then that I had to get out of the house, and fast, but as I turned to leave, I saw Emily standing in front of me, her eyes black as coal, and her skin gray and decaying. She reached out a hand and touched my face, and I felt a surge of ice-cold energy run through my body. I tried to scream, but my voice was frozen in my throat. And then, everything went black. When I came to, I was lying on the floor, my head pounding and my body aching. The house was silent, and the darkness seemed to have lifted. But as I stumbled to my feet, I saw something that made my blood run cold. On the wall, in letters that seemed to be written in blood, was a message. "Welcome home," it read. I knew then that I was trapped, just like Emily, and I knew that I would never be able to escape the horrors that lurked within those walls.